To explain how this reads, let's go over each column. You have your job ID, your tags, your estimates, your invoices, the client name, the type of job, the status, the duration, scheduled, phone number, the tech that is assigned to that job, the address where the job is taking place, and then the different actions that edit or delete. Some of the things to notice are the different tags. So you have all your tags are going to be listed in the tag column, so that way there it's a quick viewing for you. Another thing to notice are the different icons. So as you can see on job 12, there is a red truck there. This means that the technician arrived late to the job. Another icon is the green U. This means that there was an upsell for this job. There are different sorting methods that you could be able to use. One is utilizing the search field. So I could type in 12 and presto. You could sort by date created. You could select a date range. You also could be able to sort by the different job statuses. You have your scheduled, deposit collected, in progress, canceled, and done. And then last but not least, you could be able to search by tags. So whatever tag that you have entered for that specific job, you could be able to search by in this section. Another thing to notice is the duration. In the duration, you will see the total amount of time it took to complete that job. How this is calculated is when the technician presses job started to when they press completed. Another section under jobs is called overview. In overview, you have your estimate decline rate. How this is calculated is it takes the total amount of estimates that have been sent out and also the total amount of declines that have been received. As you can see, it is broken down by technician, and also it gives you the decline reasons and account for how many of each decline reason. You have your totals here in the middle with a percentage and also the total numbers. You have the ability to be able to filter. You have today, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, and all time. In schedule, you have the ability to schedule jobs, appointments, and also tasks. For this example, we're going to go ahead and schedule a job. There are two different ways to be able to schedule a job. One is by simply pressing Add New, and then Add New Job. The other way is to click on the actual date in the calendar for when the service is going to take place. Click Add New, and start filling in the job details. An alternative way to be able to schedule a job is through jobs. In jobs, you have your job list, and in order to add a job, you simply click Add a Job, and then start filling in the customer details. For today's example, we're going to schedule the job through Job List. As stated before, you start keying in the customer's information. If you start typing in the customer's name, A list will appear for you of all the people that have their name that begins with the letters that you typed. If there are multiple people with the same name, you could be able to identify that specific customer by their email address. Since I only have one Jeff in my client list, only one Jeff Lopez appears. But if there were two, I could be able to determine which one it is by the email address. After I key in the customer's name, the address automatically pre-populates with the address that is listed in the client list section for that customer. If I did need to go to a different address for the same client, I could certainly do so, just by simply highlighting all the data and just typing right over it. Job type is going to be determined by your business. In this example, I already have service as one of my drop-down options, but you do have the ability to add new. Once you add a new job type, it will become part of your drop-down list for any type of future jobs keyed in. So for this example, I'm going to select service. Job source is where the customer heard about your business. We already have a drop-down with selections already established, but you do have the ability to add anything new. For this example here, we're going to go ahead and put referral. Job description is where you're going to put all of the details that the customer gives to you about what is going on. So for this example here, we're going to put customer stating there is a knocking noise and running slow. Now that we've put in the description, it's time to put in a service or part. You have the ability to be able to add new directly from the job, or you have your drop down list to be able to select any of your inventory items. For this example here, I'm going to click on free estimate. As you can see, a description pops up, a quantity, and a price. We have our inventory item now. Let's go ahead and select the date and time. For this example here, we're just going to go ahead and set it for today's date. Calendar pops up, select today, and the time frame we'll just go with 1 p.m. So 1 p.m. Then we'll do the end time frame. This is just an estimate, so we assume that this will take about an hour to be able to do. And then we'll put 2 p.m. as the end time. Now it comes time to schedule a technician. When scheduling a technician, the things you want to look out for is the color codes. Green means that that technician is available. Orange means that they already have a lot of jobs scheduled for that day, and you may not want to schedule them during this time frame. They might be overloaded. And then as you can see with the red, this means that this particular technician already has a job and that you would be double booking them. So here we're going to go ahead and select Philip because he's the one that's free for this date and time frame. Then we can go ahead and add a tag if needed. If we wanted to add that this particular customer is a lead, you could certainly do so. If it is a commercial account, whichever tag that you would like to create for your business. So for this example here, we're just going to go ahead and select lead. Then we will hit save. One of the things that I would like to point out is in the settings tab. In settings, you have your team workload color threshold. This is going to be the color code indicator to show how busy your technician is for that specific day. As you can see in the example here, less busy is going to be 0 to 1 jobs. Medium busy is 2 to 3 jobs, and very busy is 4 to 5 jobs. As we were scheduling a job earlier, one of the technicians showed a color code of orange. That meant that their workload for that day was medium busy because they already had 2 to 3 jobs scheduled that day. The color codes for each one is going to be green for less busy, orange for medium busy, and red for very busy. You have the ability to adjust the threshold to whichever numbers that you would like in this section. In order to generate an estimate, you must do the following. First, you need to be able to get into the job by pressing the pencil. Next is the technician will press on my way to let the customer know that they are on their way. The customer will receive a text message stating so. Once the technician has arrived to the house, they will press Start Job. This will start the workload hours. The late arrival rate is also tied to when the technician presses Job Started. At this point in time, the technician will diagnose the issue and start entering in additional inventory items. For this example here, I'm going to select routine cleaning. Once I make that selection, you see the same information pops up as before, the quantity, the price, and the amount. There's a new box showing called upsell. This is where the upsell metric comes into play. If it is truly an upsell item, the technician will select the box to indicate that it is an upsell. Once all the inventory items are entered that are needed for the job, you will select Update. If the technician wishes not to send an update to the customer, they could select Don't Send Update Email to Customer. Reason being is because every time you press Update, an email notification is sent to the technician and also the customer. You also see that you have the ability to enter in photos. There's not a limitation on how many photos you can enter. For this example here, I'm just going to put in some random photos. You could always go back and enter in the after photo or the before photo at any point in time. For this example here, I'm just going to enter in both the before and after photo. I'm going to go ahead and press update. And now the changes have been saved. All the information is entered into the job. Now it is time to generate the estimate. In order to do so, you go over and select Estimate. In the middle, you will see a button that says Add Estimate. Once pressed, a PDF document is being generated. As you can see, there's a lot of information on here. You have your company information, who is prepared for, the service location, the description, and as stated before, the description for the inventory item will appear on the estimate. So as you can see under free estimate, the description appeared saying free estimate, go out to the customer's home to examine the situation and provide an estimate. And then same for routine cleaning. You see the description there. Two things we need to go ahead and fill out. We need first to enter in the date. We'll go ahead and put in today's date. If you want to provide any type of discount, you could certainly do so. Then you want to enter the tax rate. So you have the ability to add new, but for this example, I'm going to go ahead and select Texas. You have the ability to enter in any type of notes and then press save. Last thing we need to do is hit the send button. If you need to make any type of edits, you could do so by pressing the pencil. If you need to delete the whole estimate, you could do so by pressing the trash can. For this example here, we're going to go ahead and press send. What this does, it is sending the estimate to the customer's email. Now the estimate is in the customer's hands to be able to approve or decline. If for some reason the customer is not able to access their email and they would like to decline the estimate, they could do so from the technician's mobile device by selecting decline. For this example here, we're going to go ahead and approve the estimate. I have the customer's email address. This is what it would look like. The customer will press the link, and as you can see, there is an attachment with the PDF of the estimate. We'll click the link. A new pop-up appears. This is going to be the customer's dashboard. You will see that there is one item pending. So we will select anywhere on this estimate. And the same PDF that generated earlier will display here. As you can see, there is an approve or decline button for the customer to select. For this example, we're going to go ahead and approve it. Once approved, it automatically changes on your dashboard. Now that the customer has approved the estimate, three options appear in the actions. You have request deposit, view, and copy to invoice. We'll cover request deposit in another segment. You have the view button to be able to view the same PDF as before. But for this example here, we're just going to simply copy to invoice. So it's taking the same estimate that was generated and copying over to the invoice. That is saved. And now you see up at the top next to invoice, it was 0, now it is 1, meaning that there is an invoice ready. Click over on invoice, and you could see the amount that it's due in different payment options. The technician has the ability to accept payment from their mobile device, or they could just simply send it to the customer to pay through the customer dashboard. Just to show how it displays on the customer's dashboard, you will see here it says invoice. I click on invoice and it gives the customer the option to press pay. Let's go ahead and finalize this job. Let's just say the customer wanted to pay cash. We will go ahead and select cash as our method of payment. The customer does have the ability to leave a tip. So for this example, let's just say a 5% tip. The new total is listed below, and the technician will receive $147.75. Press the purple button, and now the transaction has been finalized. Once the transaction is completed, a customer satisfaction score will appear. This gives the customer the ability to rate their experience. This is actually a technician metric. As we saw earlier on a previous segment, one of the technician metrics is called customer satisfaction score. This is where those metrics come into play. For this example here, we'll go ahead and select 5 stars and press continue. Now that the invoice is paid, you see the payment options are no longer visible. The only thing left is view, which you could be able to view the invoice. Last thing that a technician needs to do is be able to complete the job. They go back to details and press the completed button. This will finalize their workload hours. Now that the technician has pressed the completed button, the job is actually finished. If you want to take a look at other jobs, you could press the back button. Once you press the back button, it will take you back to a jobs list. The company also has the ability to be able to request deposit. So if a customer does not have the full amount for big jobs, you could be able to request a deposit. You could do this by after the estimate is generated. Once the estimate is generated, the customer still needs to approve the estimate. That's when the 3 buttons will appear: request deposit, view, and copy to invoice. For this example, we're going to go ahead and press request deposit. It is asking for a down payment for the job. For this example here, we're going to go ahead and put $29.99. We'll put today's date, hit continue, and so now you see that the invoice number went from 0 to 1, meaning that there was an invoice generated for the deposit. Let's go ahead and click on invoice, and now let's go ahead and pay that invoice. So it's just like a normal collection of invoice. You could either do that through the customer's dashboard, or the technician can be able to accept payment as well. So for this example here, let's just say the customer paid with cash. We'll select cash, take $29.99, and press continue. At this point in time, I need to go ahead and complete the job. And as you can see, the status has changed from in progress to deposit collected. Now that I've pressed completed, it changed to on my way. The reason being is because we are still going back out to the customer's home to finish the job. So what we could do is we could be able to schedule another day, say the 28th. Okay, and let's say that we're going to start at 9 and we will finish at 10, and then we will go ahead and update. So now let's just say time has passed. It is now the 28th. We are going back out to the customer's home. Same thing again. We're going to go ahead and still press on my way. Then we will, once we arrive to the customer's home, we will press start job. All right, we will go ahead and complete the job. There's no need to enter any type of inventory items. This is already an existing job and we just need to complete it. So let's just say we complete the job. We're going to go to invoice, and then you could see that there is an invoice for the remaining balance. Same thing again. A customer could pay through the customer dashboard, or the technician could be able to collect payment as well. For this example here, we're going to press other. So we'll press other. You see you get the star rating for how the technician was. We'll press 5, hit continue. We're going to go back to the details and press completed. All right, now the job is actually done. Another option the user has is to create an instant invoice. If you feel that an estimate is not necessary for this job, then this is an option for you. The way to process an instant invoice is to be inside the job details. You've already pressed on my way, and let's just say you've already at the job. So you start the job, okay, and you proceed as you normally would in creating an estimate. You scroll down till you get to the inventory section, start keying in all the necessary inventory items for the job. So for this example, we will put in routine cleaning. If it's an upsell or not, go ahead and mark it, and then hit the update button. If you need to put any before pictures or after pictures, you can certainly do so. Like I said, it is exactly how it would be for a normal order. Now, if you want to go process an instant invoice, you go directly to the invoice tab and you see the add instant invoice button. Press that button and it generates an invoice just like normal. The only thing that we skipped was sending out the estimate, but everything else is the same. So we'll process it for today. Any discounts, we'll choose the tax rate, and then we will hit save. Okay. And then from here, you have all your payment options. So, as stated in a previous segment, the tech is able to collect payment, or the customer could pay through the customer's dashboard. For this example here, we'll just go ahead and press Other. The survey pops up about the technician. We'll say 5 stars, hit Continue. Your order is now paid. We'll go to the details, and we will press Completed to stop the workload hours for this job. And that is it. That is how you process an instant invoice through Clarivo.